B'Shem Hashem Na'aseh V'Natzliach. We know this week's Parsha is Parshat Bo. And in Parshat Bo, it's the whole idea of the holiday of Passover, the exodus of the Jews. 3 of the 10 plagues, the last 3 happen in this week's Parsha. The Arbeh, the grasshoppers, locusts that invaded Egypt and devoured all the herbage and produce, the darkness, and also the death of the firstborn. So we know one of the major themes of Judaism is the fact that God brought the 10 plagues on Egypt and took us out of Egypt. The Rav Wolbe brings that self from the altar of Slobodka, Zichrono Livracha, Rav Natan Tzvi Finkel. Why is it such a paramount and important idea to know that there was 10 plagues and that we were slaves in Egypt and God took us out? And the answer is very simple. It wants to teach us the idea of Haghgacha Pratit, that there's divine providence. What was the common idea during the 10 plagues? Well, the most significant one is the holiday of Passover, right? Every single home in Egypt, somebody died, but at Jewish homes that they had the blood of the Korban Pesach plastered over their home, nobody passed away. So we see that there's something called divine providence. Like the first plague, when the whole Egypt was full of blood, when the Jews wanted to drink, it was water. So we see that God, for the Jewish nation, He makes miracles, and He has tailor-made, tailor-specific supervision over you. Nothing is random. Nothing is just a coincidence. God's hand is guiding you. All through the 10 plagues, it became crystal clear that the Egyptians were bombarded with frogs. The Jews had no frogs. The Egyptians were bombarded with lice. In the Goshen, the land of the Jews, there was no wild animal, lice, darkness, so on and so forth. And the most drastic measure that was literally a matter of life and death is why we named one of the most important holidays of Judaism, which is a backbone, Passover, because they saw that the angel of death visited every single Egyptian home and not the Jewish homes. And this is, by the way, the meaning of Shema Yisrael. We say Shema Yisrael, Hashem Elokeinu. Every blessing that we say Elokeinu, we're saying God is my personal God. If I get sick, God forbid, or if tragedy happens or goodness happens, it's not just some random Big Bang Shmang theory. It's God that brought me this specific situation, just like the Jews clearly saw that the 10 plagues came upon the Egyptians. The Jews had light and comfort and everything. And I just wanted to tell you amazing personal story. It's so important. The Chazon Ish says that every day we should keep a journal, or in our mind, be aware how God is watching over us and keeping us safe and guiding us and making personal miracles for us, because it's a shame. This is what keeps us close and will help us really get attached and davuk to God. When we see that God we always have to be aware that God is making specific tailor-made. He's watching over us like the apple of His eye, and nothing is random. So I just want to tell you something. It's happened to me dozens of times, and it just makes my hair stick on an end. It makes me tremble. In my synagogue, we pray 6 a.m. So sometimes I'm in a rush. I forget to say the blessings right after Modani, Birkot HaShachar. And I kid you not, it has happened dozens of times. That same day, I see a blind person. I think to myself, what's the message here? Why is God sending me a blind person along my way? And then it makes my heart almost stop. Like my heart starts beating. I say, oh my goodness, I didn't appreciate the fact that I could see today. I forgot to say Pokeach Ivrim because I was in a rush. I had to put on my tefillin and catch up to the minyan. So this is very important to realize, like the Ramban says in the end of this week's Parsha, if you don't believe that everything in the world is a miracle and that God is watching over you and guarding you, and every opportunity and everything that happens in your life is not by divine and godly decree, then you have no place in the Torah of Moshe. So may Hashem help us. God always does us public, macro, and micro miracles, and it's all a miracle, and we should be cognizant and aware of it. That's what the Exodus teaches us. Don't forget to subscribe, and Shabbat Shalom.